So corporate sponsorship. Somebody asked me a question when I made the the video about the children being being used for non-souled beings to do hyperdimensional transport. And somebody was asking me how I did corporate sponsorship, but I feel like they were really asking, where are your motivations coming from, being that you have ads on your videos? And I wanted to address that topic because I've had to I went back and forth for quite a while as to whether or not I should monetize. And I couldn't monetize for a while as well because YouTube was doing YouTube shenanigans, but at some point I was able to, and I don't see any difference between me, say, working for Uber and receiving money, or me putting ads on my videos and receiving money. Everybody is corporate sponsored. If you're working for a corporation, then you're corporate sponsored. So as far as that taint sort of not reaching you, you're just being delusional if you think that it's not touching you in any way. So that doesn't really bother me. And at the same time, the beast gets transmuted, like it gets absorbed, it gets dissolved out. It doesn't matter what, on an individual level, whether you sort of like call out corporations for being disgusting, vampiric things or whatever. And I have done that. I mean, I've made many videos discussing the idea of what a corporation is and why it's unhealthy and whatnot, but I feel like it's very idealistic to say that we can't associate with corporations on our videos because that's tainting it, but then you have products in your house and you're working for a corporation. If anything, that's sort of hypocritical. And it's fine, like it's fine to not want to monetize, and because it feels purer that way, but I need money and I have to get it somehow. And like I said before, if I get it by doing something that I enjoy, which is making videos, then so be it. That's better than spending 12 hours a day driving around the people. And at some point, you know, I won't be in this sort of money situation anymore, and who knows, maybe the ads will fall off, or I'll get tired of having corporations be associated with my content. I don't know. It doesn't really matter to me though. Almost every video that I watch on YouTube has an ad before it anyway, and it takes 5 seconds to click past it, and that's just what you do. I think you can also remove them. You can pay like $10 a month, just like with Pandora. I pay $5 a month for Pandora, so I don't have to hear the corporation nonsense. What else? Oh, one of the major reasons I didn't monetize before was the thing that Matt talks about, which is that having monetization on your channel affects what you talk about, how you title your videos, how many videos you upload, when you upload, how you upload, etc., etc., etc. And I struggled with that mentally for a while to determine if that would happen or not. And then at some point I was like, it probably does affect it somehow. It's the same thing as somebody tells you, this is an Alan Watts thing, somebody says like, don't think of a pink unicorn. Of course. So it's gonna have some effect, but like I said before, corporations are everywhere and you can't escape it anyway. the beast, like I said, spits me out every 5 seconds anyway. Whenever I tried to get in there, then it's like, that doesn't taste good. So if anything, the taint will be working in reverse, and you know, things get transmuted by associating with those that are of different frequency, and that's fine with me, you know. Like, on a whole, the beast system is getting dissolved anyway. That's how it's always happened, and that's how it always will happen. We're running a linear aspect of the whole thing, you know, playing out right now. But because if it had its way, then it would devour all of organic life and consciousness and everything, and there wouldn't be anything anyway. So being that your organic consciousness is still able to function means that it hasn't, the beast didn't win. If it won, then all of it would blink out from the beginning to the end. I actually remembered my dream last night, and it's rare for me to remember dreams, but I was driving this car, which is pretty normal because I'm always driving this car, but I was driving the car down some road. I don't know where I was, but I didn't know I was in a dream. And at some point, the car, all of the electronics in the car shut off completely. And it was night, so like the headlights go off, all the interior lights go off, and I'm driving. So, you know, I'm going like 30 or 40 miles an hour down this mountain road, and everything is shut off, and there's not light outside, there's not traffic lights or other cars or anything. So I'm in like a moving vehicle that has shut down completely. And so, you know, in the dream, which I don't know is a dream, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm gonna crash now, so I better do something. And in the dream, I wanted to get out of the car and like jump and duck and roll or something. But in the dream, the car doors locked when all the electronics went off. So I was thinking, okay, well, I can't get out now. I should crawl into the back and see if I can find that emergency trunk release that's built in for, you know, kidnap victims that get thrown in the back of the trunk. And so as I was starting to crawl back there, and of course I wasn't really thinking like, oh, you know, I should have already flown off the road by now, because it would only take 5 seconds after you lose total control of the vehicle for that to happen. But, you know, I still didn't think about that. I was still thinking about getting out of the car. And then the electronics, like the interior lights and things, started coming back on, but the engine didn't come back on. And I pulled off to some side road. I regained sort of control of the car, but the engine wasn't on. I pulled off to a side road, and it was like down and then up. And something weird started happening at that point. Like, the car went up this hill, and then it went back down backwards up the other hill, kind of like it was on a swing or something. And I was like, okay, well, the car is going to run out of energy, because that's what happens, you know, like if you push a swing, it goes up and down, then less up, then less down, until it eventually stops. So I was waiting for that to happen. And instead of that happening, when the car came back down, it went higher on the other hill, and then when it came back up, it went higher on this hill. And I was like, oh man, this is not, something strange is going on here. And that triggered me to thinking like, oh, well, this is probably a dream, and I have more control in this situation than I thought I did. And then right as that thought hit, my car, it literally got like picked up and moved over to a road, and the engine came back on. And it wasn't something that I consciously decided to do in the dream, but it was like I didn't want to be in that situation, so the situation changed. And then, you know, you become aware in dreams, and then you can play with it, you can move around, you can do things, fly, whatever. So I started playing in the dream and doing whatever I wanted to do, and it was actually responding to my sort of manifesting intent and wishes, rather than me getting run over by fears of crashing or whatever else, you know. And then I woke up, but the point is that I'm relating this back to the realm that we're in here, in this waking state where we think everything's set and there are rules and this and that. And what I see, like the Mandela effect things and how people see different realities, you know, some people can see chemtrails and other people maybe don't see anything. It's personal and it's subjective. What I'm saying is, if enough of these things come in, like Mandela effects, where reality breakdowns are happening, it's the same thing as your sleep dream within this waking reality, where it's like it's a signal to you that you're not stuck in these physical laws of reality if you don't want to be. You can play with it, and it's not exactly the same as dreams, because in dreams, once you figure that out, then you start playing with it, and just the whole thing kind of the whole thing is just like all over the place. There's very little continuity, and in this particular physical dream state that we're in here, there is more continuity. So it's not like you just start flying up off the ground or something like that, but it's the same general concept. And even like the video I made 5 seconds ago about the continuity between yesterday's black shit all over the mountains and today it's just puffy, fluffy white clouds, not any clouds in the sky above, very fresh air, as if that thing yesterday didn't even happen, just gone without a trace. That's what I'm saying. Those are signals to us that our input into the realm, our energetic input and intent, actually has effect. And yesterday, yesterday's energy was intense. Like, I was driving with Jackson and my feet were getting sweaty and my body felt, you know, like something was. I texted Lauda and asked how she felt, and she's like, oh, I feel like nausea and I feel like something's about to blow up or something. And I felt the same thing at the same time. And I was like giving energy, Reiki energy, to the realm and the people and that I know and everybody and everything. And I was doing my part to hold the space and hold the peace, sort of. And it passed. And then now we have this day, you know, that's beautiful. And there's no energetic problems whatsoever. And I know that across the realm, when these sort of things, it's like interdimensional intruders or something, or an event is trying to happen, like a negative, catastrophic event or something like that. As a collective, if we hold the space, hold the peace, hold the energetic intent to keep the realm pure and not go flying off into chaos, then that's what actually happens. And you have the next day is completely transformed. That's all I wanted to say is about the sponsorship thing. I am going to keep monetizing it till I don't want to. I'm not going to feel guilty about it or anything. And keep playing. Keep playing, guys. Have some fun.